Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. I am the host of this series, Let Me Tell You More, and today I'm here to tell you more about Darrell Merrill. Darrell, take it away.
Hi, I'm Darrell Merrill. I'm an artist, obviously. I've been an artist since I was 5. Art's kind of my whole thing. Life. I love pop culture, movies, comics, animation, anime, the whole bit. And that's me.
Okay, so question number one, where are you from?
Houston, Texas. Well, Pasadena, Texas is where I'm born. It's right outside of Houston.
So do you feel like where you grew up, does that affect like how you draw and paint and things?
Not really where, but just I was one of those kids. I kind of got bullied a lot, and I was like, I had health issues when I was young, so I stayed in a lot, and so that that's why I wound up drawing a lot.
You said you started at 5.
Yes. Well, my parents used to go to this little bar called Hager's, and they had a shuffleboard table, and then they had a little chalkboard that they kept score on, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was bored, and I went over there and started drawing on the chalkboard, and I drew a horse out of boxes. And
Mm-hmm.
this nice gentleman came over and complimented me and was going on and on and on about how good I was at drawing, and that just I was only 5, but I was like, I'd never been good at anything before, you know. So, so that really made me pretty happy, and from there on out, I just wouldn't stop drawing. I got in trouble for drawing in art class. That's how much I was drawing.
Is that the first piece of art you remember making?
Oh yeah, that
Okay.
that blocky horse, little squares, rectangles actually, but
So what do you call your art style?
uh, pop. My handle is Dmnerdartist. It's nerd art. Anything that's like nerdy, from D&D to comic books to movies. I mean, Star Wars was a giant influence on me. I was pretty young whenever that came out. I got to see it in theaters. Never even heard of the movie. My sister just brought me to it and said, I think you might like this. And I was like, I did. I was totally blown away.
So like what goals do you have for your art?
Well, I'd like to be able to support myself and my habit of being an artist. You know, art supplies are expensive, and my wife, bless her heart, she buys me everything. I mean, I make money. I just don't make a lot of money.
Mhm.
I don't want to be rich. It's like that's a pleasant side effect is making money and be able to make more art because I made money. But like I had a we rented it in Conroe, north of Houston, um, for like several months in a row. And this young girl came in and she never smiled. She came in with her auntie or whatever, and she's like, "I want you to draw me Kobe Bryant and Gigi."
Mhm.
Right? And I'm not a portrait artist, so I
Right.
stressed about it for about a month, and then finally I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna draw it my way, and I
Mhm.
did. Finally finished it. The next time we were up there, she came, and of course, I got paid for it. But the best part of it was when I handed her that picture. I never saw her smile before then, and then she wouldn't stop smiling. She was so happy, and that's a very very pleasant side effect
Mhm.
of having people like my art is seeing them happy. You know
Right.
that. Yeah, I'm kind of a people pleaser, so that make that makes me pretty happy too.
Now, did you go to school for art?
Yeah, I went to actually I went to the Art Institute, which I ran into financial problems and never finished. And here in 2009, I attended Shaw and got an associate's degree,
Was that in art?
graphic design.
Oh, cool. So for the people who don't know, what does an artist actually do?
Stress. For me, we do art shows, we do vending shows, and I also do commissions and stuff on the side. I do like logos and stuff under the graphic end of it. But as an artist, the art shows would be my favorite outlet of being an artist. I find an art, or actually, the wife finds an art show and goes, "Hey, there's an art show. Blah blah blah. They need 4 pieces, and the theme is '90s cartoons." So then sit down, figure out what I want to draw, and or paint, or how do I want to approach this piece. Like
Hmm.
we did Adult Swim. I did everything in pen and ink and colored pencils. Where other shows, like we did big in Japan, I did a painting of Godzilla. So
Cool.
yeah, so the shows dictate a lot. I have several coming up in March. I got a Buffalo Bayou show, so I get to do a bunch of animals. I love doing animals. Most art shows don't have, they're like pop culture stuff, but no animals. That 2 or 3 places I go to, I keep hinting wildlife, wildlife, wildlife. Uh, Nobody's catching on.
And now, when you go to school for art, do you feel like it helps you with the business side of having an art career?
No,
Oh,
nope,
not at all?
nope, 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 not at all. They like when I went to the Art Institute, they tried to prepare you a little bit. They were like, if they gave you a math course, they try to involve it with your art, etc. Um, my hardest thing is pricing my own work. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I feel uncomfortable going, well, this is worth this. But my wife, thank God for her, she managed me. She's my manager. She takes care of me and she prices my work and she stands by whatever she prices it, and we sell it. So that's the best part. Sometimes I say there's a key for every lock, because sometimes I'll do something like I drew a tarantula. It was an orange and red tarantula. I really liked it. Nobody else liked it. We carried that with us to a million art shows, and I was at a art show, and the guy who was running it goes, "You have any other pieces? Just slap them up on the wall." And I was like, "Okay." So I slapped up a bunch of them, and one of them was a tarantula.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady came by, and she was in love. She was just smitten. She was like, "Oh my God, that is so cool. Can I buy that?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure can."
So, what's the first piece you ever sold?
Um, I It was a knight, and he was holding a sword, and in
Mm-hmm.
the reflection of the sword, you could see like a princess or a girl, what a woman
Mm-hmm.
dressed in a long gown and crown and all that stuff. And I drew it, and I was at the American Legion with my parents, and I'm like, I drew it, colored it. I'm sitting there, and this little old lady's like, "Hey, I like that," and gave me $20 for it. So,
What's your favorite piece you've ever made?
uh, there's one that's I did it's on it's on gray paper and black and white pencil and ink, and it's a plague doctor. I did a little piece of a street of London,
Mm-hmm.
right? I put a red X on the door, because that's what I've looked up, did some research. That's
Mm-hmm.
what they did. If there was no one left alive in that house, there's a red X. And then the plague doctor, and it's on a huge piece of paper that's like 36 by 20, I think. So definitely my favorite. I have a lot
Cool.
of favorites. So I have those that I'm in love with, and nobody wants to buy those, you know. But once in a while, somebody will go, "Oh wow, that's really cool." The plague doctor's one everybody likes,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, but I think we're charging like $200 for. So he's just sitting
Right.
here. Sooner or later, he'll find a home,
Okay, so what's your least favorite piece you've made?
which I happen to have really close by.
Okay.
I When I went to the Art Institute, I took a design and color theory class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were supposed to do. They gave us a critter to do. I got stuck with a lizard. I wanted a tiger. My teacher's like, everybody gets tigers. Don't do a tiger. Do something different. So this guy, I hated him. But when I show people,
Uh-huh.
they go, "Oh, cool." They love him. I like that one way better. we had to find different ways to use the critter you were given.
Mm-hmm.
That was one third black, one third white. I did. There was a cartoon which I did a lizard man with a sword. There was you had to do something that reflect your animal, and so I did the outline of the lizard and I filled it with bugs because it's
Right.
lizard eat.
If your life was a book, what would it be called?
I have no clue. Beginner's guide to being silly. I don't know I don't know. Nothing dramatic. Something fun and silly.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten?
10,000 hours. If you want to master something, 10,000 hours of putting in, which sounds like a lot, but like when I was a kid up to now, I just draw a lot. I doodle. It's like you put 10,000 hours in, you can master that. I'm there with my illustrations. I'm there with Photoshop,
Mhm.
but I'm not with a few other programs that I'm really, really, really trying to learn, like or Premiere. I'm like, with Premiere. I cut videos of my art for art shows and stuff like that. But I'm learning. After Effects and Premiere kind of go hand in hand. After Effects and special effects stuff. I've
Mhm.
been dipping my toes on that one. So
What's the worst piece of advice you've ever gotten?
I I can't really think of any bad advice I've been given. Mostly people tell you not to give up, which isn't really in my blood. I like, if you cut off my hands, I'd probably tape a pencil to my nub and draw. I mean, it's like it's who I am. It has been my whole life. I don't
Mhm.
ever see me retiring from art. Um, I've I, I've had one picture that I got bad criticism on, and that's it. Everybody else goes, "Oh, I mean, everything's always positive," and I feel very lucky and blessed because I see where other artists. I read on Instagram where other artists are getting hammered for
Mhm.
good work, and I don't understand that, but I always seem to get positive feedback. The one picture I didn't, um, I started a little club on DeviantArt for artists for I forgot what I named it, but it was for uh, like global warming and stuff like that, trying to get people to make art for that stuff. And one of the things I did was seal hunting, which I think is horrible,
Right.
right? So I drew a baby seal, and he's got a little tear in his eye, and then I had a you can see the guy with a stick with a little point on it. It's just a shadow laying over the seal.
Hmm.
And I got criticized for him having a tear because they're like, they don't cry. I was like, how do you know? My dogs cry all the time. I have two chihuahuas. When they want your food, they start crying and shaking.
Hmm.
But and then I got a lot of criticism from people that were like, well, I live in a country that's the only way we can make money is by seal hunting. So
Hmm.
lots of debate came after that picture. I had people on both sides of the fence arguing, fighting, and I got a lot of criticism, but I like my work. I stand by it
So, what projects are you working on right now?
a ton. I got um, a photo show, a black and white show, a '90s cartoon show, and I have them listed. I I have to keep up with that stuff. I like I have a note taking thing on my phone. I have them all listed. I got 5 shows though for March and one in May. So the '90s cartoon one is the one I'm really excited about. I'm going to do some Batman Beyond and some X-Men, but I'm also going to do like Cat, Dog, and uh, Cow and Chicken, and Johnny Bravo, all the fun stuff.
All the classics.
Classic, yes.
So, what's your favorite type of art to do? 'Cause it
Uh,
sounds like you do a lot.
I do a lot. I try not to be stuck, you
Mm.
know. It's like I enjoy anime a lot, but I don't want that to be the only thing I'm known for. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you're asking my favorite the anime show I did, Naruto. I love Naruto, and but he's like all in flames, and I have the spirit, fox spirit behind him, and that's one of the better faces I've done. I really love that picture. I
Mm.
totally enjoyed doing that one. Um, when it leans towards comic book art, I'm happiest, honestly. But
Oh,
I
okay.
also I do like to mix it up. I like to do some different stuff. I like doing we do every year I do like two different blacklight shows. So those are fun.
Oh, cool.
Trying to yeah. Sometimes I'll take my art and inverse it and add paint to it, and then other times I'll paint a whole brand new piece. You know.
So, where do you get traffic from the most for commissions and things?
Uh Online I get these people are like, oh, let me send you a check, and they're full of baloney. Um, uh, I more through meeting people
Mm-hmm.
that I do online for sure. I get a lot of scammers online. I do actually get a legitimate person once in a while,
Yeah.
which I have to. Me and the wife both vet them pretty much before we, you're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna, send me. I have one guy send me a check, and uh, a portion of it was supposed to be for me, and the other portion was supposed to be for someone else. Oh, he's an analyst or something. I'm supposed to send this money on to him. I was like, I don't know about all this. This is not,
I know, right?
lots of scammers going on nowadays.
Mm-hmm. They tried to get me like that before.
Yep, they've definitely tried to get me a bunch of times. They've like every it's like, oh, I want to buy NFTs from you. And it's just like you you can kind of tell the way they talk to you when they first approach you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, no, not much fun. I don't like that part. That's the worst part. That's why I like she manages everything. I can worry about being creative, and she can
Mm-hmm.
worry about managing stuff, and that frees me up. Keeps me from going. What am I going to charge for this? You know, it's
Right.
like I don't. My brain's not even wired like that. I'm not thinking about what's the value of this piece of art. I'm like going. I'm trying to express my idea the best way I can,
Right.
in a pleasing way. It's like sometimes you like when you do some kind of like Cat Dog and Johnny
Mm-hmm.
Bravo. I'm definitely going to lean into something kind of classic, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not too far off base. You know. Then I also have fun with stuff like mashups where you turn. I My wife loves Stitch, so I wanted to change and Stitch all the time. I turned him into the Winter Soldier. I turned him into the Captain America.
Uh-huh.
And I have Captain America, and actually it's Leroy, which is his buddy, whatever, is Winter Soldier, and have them together. I right. He's been Loki. I drew him with Loki with a little alligator on his hand. And like those are fun.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of trying to be classic. You're like trying to subvert it and make it something else.
Mm-hmm. What do you want the viewers to take away from this interview?
That I'm not insane. No, maybe a little. No, I don't know. But just I want to get out there. I want more people to know about me, and check out my art. Check out my Instagram or check out my web page, kind of thing. So yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe to my channel. Comment below who you would like to see me interview next and support Mr. Darrell Merrill here.
Hi. I hope I wasn't too boring and everything was fun. I enjoyed myself. Hopefully, you, the audience, enjoyed yourself. You can follow me you can go to my webpage, which is dmnerdartist.com. And I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, but Instagram is a better place to get a hold of me. So it's been fun. Bye.
Bye, guys.